All right, welcome back. I have a bit of bad news. Many of you may have already discovered this. This is my third time recording this because I don't want to come off as overly negative while delivering the bad news, and I also needed to include a few other things. But that news is that Gumroad has somehow lost PayPal. I'm not sure exactly how they have achieved this. From what I understand, there were people on Gumroad selling copyrighted material or something. That was the claim. And so they have told Gumroad to correct it, and until then, they can't use PayPal. But apparently, Gumroad is not willing to do that, which seems insane to me. I mean, they had no problem kicking off not safe for work content, which I agree with because I really don't want my program sandwiched between a bunch of not safe for work content. That's part of the reason I moved everything over to my own website and just used their shopping cart. But now they've lost PayPal from their shopping cart. So that means that, at least for the time being, that there's no more PayPal on mindandmagick.com because my site uses their embedded shopping cart. Will they get PayPal back? It doesn't look like they're trying to. I think they're insane not to. They're violating Laws of Riches 27. Make it easy for people to give you money. If you make it too difficult for people to give it to you, then they won't. You're just leaving money on the table. And PayPal knows this. This is why they throw their weight around. They know the value of making it convenient for customers to pay with PayPal and for their peace of mind when it comes to security. They know the value of this. This is why they charge ridiculous fees rivaling Gumroad's and throw their weight around in cases such as this, because they know that we need them more than they need us. I don't know exactly what the issue is because I've only read the tweets. Gumroad has not done a great job in communicating what's going on with their creators, so we can only really use our best guesses. A typical month on PayPal earnings for me, I have averaged it to be about $1,700. It's not a mind-blowing amount, but it's also not inconsequential. That does make a difference in the company's earnings. And that's the average. I've always broken $1,000, and now this month's earnings was less than $300. And those $280 are from people who have subscription memberships, because those won't stop charging because they lost PayPal. Those will finish out because they're under obligation to. But no new memberships can start with PayPal. So just keep that in mind. And don't let your membership lapse, because you won't have the same payment options when you go to restart your subscription. Now, people have asked me for years, and I wouldn't expect this time to be any different. They ask me, why do you stay with Gumroad? If they keep dropping the ball like this, why do you stick with them? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, it would be a huge undertaking to move all of my content to another platform, in particularly the subscription memberships. You're talking 4 whole years of content that need to be scheduled out to go out automatically, and that is not a minor undertaking. But I am willing to do it, provided that the alternative site has all the features that Gumroad does that I use and need. And this is the main reason why I haven't moved. I'm more than willing to try another digital delivery service, but I've yet to find one as feature complete as Gumroad is. I've been waiting for someone to develop one. Gumroad really does have the best features. And they know this. This is why they throw their weight around and charge a ridiculous fee of 10% and can get away with it. Because where else are you going to go? I've personally had a love-hate relationship with Gumroad for years because when it works great. And there's nothing better out there. However, all the improving that they do to the site, they're also routinely introducing bugs. And so you'll have your share of technical issues that have to get sorted out. And then every so often, they try to put you out of business by doing something like losing PayPal or completely destroying the profile that you've made, that you've put hundreds of hours into designing and getting just right. And they come along with the wrecking ball and destroy it. That's the other reason I went to my own website and just used their shopping cart plugin, because I can never trust them again to not destroy any profile or landing page that I've created on their site. So the very first feature that I would need in order to leave Gumroad for an alternative would be a shopping cart or overlay plugin that I could use on my own website, mindandmagick.com, because I'm not making that mistake again. I'm not putting in hundreds of hours making a profile just perfect on whatever alternative site it is, just to have them come along later and destroy it because they wanted everything to be hot pink. Fool me once, shame on me. So that's number one out of the gate. It's non-negotiable. I'm going to list all the features that an alternative site to Gumroad must have in order for me, and that's number one. It must have a shopping cart or overlay plugin for the website that works within my website. And Gumroad does do this perfectly. The next thing an alternative must have are memberships. You could call them courses, you can call them subscriptions. So I could set lessons up to go out automatically on a weekly drip and charge a monthly subscription price. This was the number one reason that I didn't leave Gumroad in years prior, before my custom CSS profile on Gumroad got destroyed. And I'm not a coder. I will code, but it takes me a lot longer. But before all that, memberships was number one. I couldn't find another platform that allowed subscription memberships. Gumroad was cutting edge on that. Now every site seems to have them, including one platform that looked promising, Samcart, but that's all it seems to be, is just the shopping cart overlay, which is my number one. And they do allow memberships, which is my number two, but they will not have some of the other features that I also use and need. So everywhere I look, there's a place that has some things that I need and not others. I'm giving you the must-haves. The third is email capability. Gumroad has this built right in. It sends my lessons with email. I'll schedule the monthly sales mailers. The first thing I do when I do customer service is look up a customer's purchase history with their email, because Gumroad automatically keeps an email list for me and has email controls built right into their platform. Most other platforms don't have their email, and they want you to use a third party, such as MailChimp. They may have plugins for that, but if you've seen the cost of MailChimp, well, it's about what we heard on PayPal this month. And, I do have a MailChimp account, and I have used it, but I do prefer Gumroad's that's just built right in and works perfectly fine. I think more platforms over time will add an email feature like this. It only makes sense to, but right now, a lot of them just don't have it. Having to use a third party like MailChimp, I could pay their exuberant fees, or Gumroad's, and Gumroad has it built in. The next feature is sales and code control. The ability to cut my own coupon codes, to decide when I hold my own sales, not to rely on the platform's schedule. I remember the first merch company that I used, they decided what the sale would be across their site and my merch and what the code would be. And I don't exactly exist in the Easter, Christmas genre, but they would cut codes based upon holidays, as most businesses do, but they were the ones who decide. Gumroad allows you to cut your own codes, and a lot of them. I have pages of them because I put them in videos quite often. I put them on social media. Mind and Magick as a business is entirely link driven. So the ability to create my own discount codes and which programs they do and do not apply to, copy that as a link and paste them into my YouTube videos is something that the alternative is going to have to provide, because Gumroad provides this. This is a crucial feature. And not only be able to generate codes, but to not limit the number of codes you have, because I have pages and pages of them. I had to start listing them by where I put them. I name them after the YouTube videos I put them in. That's the only way I have to keep track of where the links are. And this isn't just important for me. This is for anybody who's running an online business where your traffic and your sales are from links and discounts. And the fifth feature that an alternative to Gumroad must have in order for me to leave is tax management. Now, as the owner of a company, I deal with taxes all year round. Most of that is outsourced to a tax and payroll company. They calculate what I owe and I pay it. All I care to do at the beginning of the year is get my 1099 and then file my taxes. What I don't want to have to do is deal with other countries' VAT taxes and become essentially a tax collector for other countries or even other states. Missouri is one of the few states that doesn't collect taxes on digital goods. But Gumroad would take care of a lot of that kind of stuff, especially when they're selling to other countries, although they did screw it up once and claim that I owed Australia like $1,600 or something. But that's because they didn't collect it and remit it like they were supposed to. But that's a separate past issue. The point is, I don't want to have to be the tax guy. The taxes are not fun. I leave as much tax stuff to the tax professionals as I can and the platform that I'm using. It amazes me how many other alternative sites don't do this. I mean, Shopify, mindandmagic.com is built on Shopify's platform with Gumroad's cart plugin. Why would I go through the trouble of using Shopify just to put Gumroad in there instead? Well, as I said before, I'm not a coder. Shopify allows custom code and makes it easy to do it. But they don't take care of the taxes. At least when I looked into it, they didn't. And they didn't have memberships without trying to find another third-party plugin. And they were hitting into my number one reason at that time. And Gumroad's plugin was easy. I just inserted it into the code. It's done. The reason I would go through all that hassle, that's how much I don't like doing taxes and how much this overall list means to me. Now, if you can find me another alternative site that uses all 5 of these, please list them below. I will take a look at them. They need the 5 I just mentioned, non-negotiable. The next 3 I would really like to see, but if they don't have it, it's not quite a deal breaker. Maybe if they were missing 2 or all of these 3, then it might be. The next one is a library of your purchases. Purchase history is in their account. Customers can access their files from the library without having to email me for another copy. Now, it's not a problem if they do. I do take care of my people. I will get to it. But the amount of email that I get, it could take a while, and I'd like to cut down on the number of requests that I get for that. It's much easier if they could just go to their account and download another copy. Having a library of all their purchases together really helps out. Gumroad has that right on an app for people, or desktop if you're using a PC. Customers tend to like it when they have access to their stuff. And, it's typical that they'll listen through a program, shelf it for a few years, and then come back to it. But all of a sudden they're having trouble getting access to it, and I help them get that back. Or there's program updates. I just updated the Fire and Water program. New artwork, some audio enhancements. Volume's been raised, normalized, and a couple other things. It's just really good to keep all the customers' purchases in their account that they have access to anytime that they need it. I still always recommend downloading a local copy for yourself because I cannot guarantee the integrity of Gumroad's storage capabilities over time because they are a third-party company to mine. But it's still good to have some kind of customer library, folder, or even purchase history so they can download them again if and when needed. An app is always preferable to have everything right there on the app, such as the one that Gumroad provides. And I know some people say there's a lot of issues with Gumroad's app. I won't disagree, but that is a separate issue. I'd like to see an app, but I wouldn't require it to make the leap to an alternative. Next up is analytics, the ability to see your sales data, to know just how much you're losing by missing PayPal. The ability to see how you're doing is quite important. I think it would be more important for a business such as mine if Most of my traffic didn't come from one place, which is YouTube, primarily speaking. But I do know that's probably higher on this list for many people if they were to rate which features were important to them. I get that. And the last thing is upsells, the ability to offer another product based upon what they've chosen to put in their cart. For example, somebody purchases The Secrets of Wealth. Well, that program's a part of the Magician Essentials bundle. So with the upsell feature, it lets the customer know that The Secrets of Wealth is included in that bundle and then offer them the bundle. They might want it or they might not, but at least it informs them that it's part of the bundle that they may not have known about. I've had a number of bundle-related customer service emails to answer over the years. Not having an upsell feature like this isn't a deal breaker on its own, and it's a relatively recent one that Gumroad added, and it has proven itself over the short time that they have had it. So those are my 5 must-have features and 3 hope-to-have features of any alternative site for me to even consider going there. But if you know of a place that does, put it down in the comments below. I will check them out. I don't want to leave Gumroad, and yet I do. As I said before, I have a love-hate relationship with Gumroad. I have been there from the beginning, pretty much right when they started. I've been through their rounds of layoffs when they had a lot of tough times and had poor customer service because of it. It would take forever because they were swamped. During their formative years, they had gone through a lot, and I stuck through all of it. They were really fleshing out the site, adding new things, coding all the time, which always introduced bugs, and it wasn't always easy to get them to fix them, particularly during that time when they had a lot of layoffs and they were running a skeleton crew. They've come a long way since then. They really do have the best features in the business that I can find. So I really don't want to leave, but losing PayPal is huge. That is bigger than all the other problems that I've had with Gumroad over the decade or so that I've been using them. You could have all the latest features of the world. If you don't make it easy for people to give you money, at best they go to the place that does make it easy for them. And if you're the only place that they can get it from, then it's even worse because you didn't make it convenient for them. It blows my mind the number of businesses that don't make it convenient for their customers to pay them. Not just Gumroad here. A lot of businesses do this. I run into it all the time. And I'm just sitting there thinking, why aren't you making it easy for me to give you money? I want to give you money. Why are you making it difficult for me to? Your customers' convenience should be a top priority, especially when it comes to payments. Them actually purchasing something. Gumroad and its coders are fantastic at building websites, but they are terrible at sales. They don't actually sell anything. They have the creators on the platform make the sales, of which they get a percentage. They do not actually sell anything. They have no sales experience. Now, had they taken a sales class, any of them, it doesn't matter which one, the first thing they would be told is that in order to sell something, in order to make a sale, you have to remove all the customer's objections. People come up with all kinds of reasons not to buy something. Many people do just out of habit. That's just what we as humans do. A lot of us anyway. You don't have to talk someone out of a sale. They'll talk themselves out of a sale. And if their most convenient payment option is removed, well, that's giving them an objection. That's not taking one away. Oh, well, I don't want to risk my credit card on a site I've never been to before. This is my first time. But, if they had PayPal, then I would trust it. Because sales comes down to trust. If people don't trust you, they won't buy from you. And as much as people hate them, that's the 2 things that PayPal does provide people, convenience and trust. I know a lot of people don't like PayPal, and I do understand the reasons for it. However, they do make a difference in sale conversions. I myself have been on websites that I wasn't really familiar with, where I didn't really know if I could trust them with my credit card information, but they had a PayPal option, and because of that, I made the purchase. I may not have been familiar with their website, but I was familiar with PayPal and knew that if there was a problem, I would have recourse. Believe it or not, there are many people out there who have never heard of Gumroad, but they have heard of PayPal, and it gives them the confidence enough to make the purchase. And that's why it's important to have a PayPal option, especially for creators on a platform such as Gumroad. For someone who's not as convenient or have as many options as, say, Amazon, Gumroad is a collection of smaller online businesses. Now, there may be some bigger ones in there, but for the most part, most of the businesses on Gumroad are small enough to really feel the hurt by losing PayPal. Gumroad has said that they haven't seen a drop in figures themselves. Last I checked. Now, we'll see how much longer that goes. But I've been rambling on for a good while now. This is why I've done this video 3 times, because I just get, on a tangent. But I'm trying to get it all in. The bottom line is Gumroad lost PayPal, which means we've lost PayPal, except for those who are already using PayPal on their memberships. If you know of a way to get around it without crazy competing shopping carts, or if you know of some Gumroad alternatives that have the features that I mentioned they must have, let me know in the comments below. I'll check them out, and I'll see you next time. Take care.